Morning from a grey and overcast Southampton. Yep, I'm smoking a Tsuge pipe from Japan. It's a little tankard, I guess. Um, Very nice. Rather modern, yet a very traditional shape. I like the metalwork on it. Smokes superbly, which is always the key ingredient to any pipe, of course. Smoking in it a little Erinmore Flake. Uh, this was my granddad's favourite tobacco, and uh, I guess Clive, for example, my granddad didn't smoke anything else really. That was his baccy, and may occasionally have bought a tin of something or been given a tin of something else, or indeed had a fill from a friend's bowl. But generally speaking, stuck to one tobacco. As does Clive at White's. He, those of you I've sent some to. He has his own blend called Special Blend, which he sells in the shop as well. Um, it's a Virginia Preak, very nice. And that's what he smokes, and he doesn't really smoke anything else. I guess he must try the odd sample here and there, but he that's his smoke, and that's what he sticks to. And why not? Anyway, it's been a funny old week of ups and downs, but other than that, all is well. Um, yeah, today's discussion. Yesterday, quite interestingly, oh no, it was the day before. What's the day? It is Sunday. It was Friday night. A discussion took place in the International Smoking Salon. Uh, the name of Stalin was brought up as a pipe smoker, and the debate. I'm not going to get into the. It wasn't a debate as to the politics of and some of the things Stalin did. It was a discussion. It was a discussion. Well, it did have a kind of reference to that because one person commented, "Oh well, I think he only, he was about to smoke the pipe. He was a cigarette smoker." And I thought to myself, well, fair enough, that's true. But however, just how far the anti-smoking lobby's propaganda has permeated everywhere. If you think about that statement, oh well, he smoked cigarettes, and smoked a pipe to. If you think back to when Stalin was alive, of course the cigarette was rather modern. There was none of the uh, relationships smoking cigarettes has with certain unpleasant diseases. It was, look at a Hollywood film of the 1930s. It's sophisticated. So to sort of suggest that, it is very much part of the anti-smoking culture we live in today. And if you like, I know that the example I'm going to give is a fictional character. However, a little while ago I was listening to a program on Radio 4 here, which is a BBC station, which is all talk and no music and things like that. And anyway, they were having a discussion about Sherlock Holmes. And of course, a discussion was going on of the character. And what was funny was the way that, of course, when I was a lad, one of the sort of positive features of Holmes in his portrayal was his smoking of a pipe. And but of course, in the books, he also smokes quite heavily cigarettes. And in fact, anything really, cigars, cigarettes, pipes, he's just a heavy smoker. And the image of Holmes with his pipe is more to do with, I guess, Paget's illustrations and the fact that most characters, with the exceptions, Jeremy Brett, of course, in his portrayal smokes quite a lot of cigarettes, and But this kind of notion, relationship between something not being not quite right with somebody and smoking cigarettes, and of course the chap in this Sherlock Holmes discussion said, oh well, but of course his tobacco use, well, we wouldn't, as if which so clearly in representation now. If you watch a film, I guess culturally there's always signifiers, isn't there? Perhaps the wearing of a large brimmed black hat and wearing a cape would signify the person was some kind of deviant. In an old film maybe. I'm using simplistic, but you know what I'm saying. And now, if somebody smokes, you automatically know that that person is a wrong 'un. But it's interesting to me how far that's permeated, even people who smoke. So the kind of difference between a pipe smoker who's a decent sort of chap and all the rest of it, and those that, I've even heard that applied to Harold Wilson on a pipe forum. Somebody saying, "Oh well, of course, Labour Prime Minister, he smoked, but it was all show. It was all show." And I don't think these were discussions that were ever, had 20, 30 years ago. And even 20 years ago, it was quite cool, and a character was not going to be a bad guy necessarily if he smoked. Whereas the clumsiness of cinema and Hollywood cinema, you certainly see now, or in TV series and stuff, that if a person smokes, they're not right. And it's interesting though for me that has kind of reflected itself in our own views, and this kind of idea that I smoke the occasional cigarette, I'm not afraid to say so either, and it the reason that I don't smoke as many cigarettes as I used to is because just for health reasons really. It's such it's so bad for you. But there are worse things you could do. You could be smoking crack, I suppose. But yeah, so there we go. So Sherlock Holmes, his cigarette smoking, a definite outward sign of an inner corruption. And I think we're all going to have to go back to the drawing board about Holmes as a character, because clearly he does smoke a lot of cigarettes, and as does Dr. Watson. And remember in the Hound of the Baskervilles, his cigarette makers in Oxford Street, I think, and Holmes identifies his old friend from the cigarette stub of. Anyway, so just a little food for thought there about smoking and how even the anti-tobacco lobby's cheap and tacky propaganda seems to have permeated even the minds of the most resilient pipe smoker. Okay, well that's it really. I've been I've been enjoying this stuff for this week's Scruff. Finally came after about 5 or 6 weeks from the people at Northerner. They've now put on their site that anything coming from the American warehouse is going to take up to 5 or 6 weeks, and about 2 for the European one. So it's not as good as it used to be, and of course you can't get the brands that you were able to, which is a shame. Other than that, ladies and gentlemen, I will be having a quite cigarette-free week. Yeah, that's about it. So anyway, I hope you're all well, and Reg as well, and I'll speak to you soon. Okay, cheers. Bye-bye.